The film bursts into life with a riveting opening sequence that introduces Marine Ray amid a chaotic battlefield. In this intense moment, Ray engages in fierce combat, wielding his firearm with precision and determination. As he fires relentlessly, he eliminates numerous adversaries, each shot echoing his resolve as a soldier hardened by the grim realities of war. Amid the chaos, a crucial confrontation unfolds when Ray identifies a terrorist ready to kill. Despite the rapid pace of events, Ray follows orders by lowering his weapon when instructed by his commanding officer, Ray, whose calm authority stands firm even in the heat of battle. However, as the terrorist wildly gestures while clutching his own weapon, Ray seizes the distraction and decisively neutralizes the threat. This opening sequence not only establishes Ray's formidable combat skills, but also hints at the internal conflicts he endures, blurring the lines between duty and personal vendetta. Shortly thereafter, the narrative shifts to Aviano Air Base, where the tone becomes both celebratory and ominous. Soldiers disembark from aircraft and helicopters as a stirring call reverberates through the ranks, proclaiming that no mission is too challenging and no sacrifice too great. Amid this disciplined fervor, Ray shares a heartfelt moment with his wife, a glimpse into the personal stakes behind the military facade. However, the celebration is brutally interrupted when Ray and his wife are unexpectedly kidnapped during what was meant to be a holiday in Mombasa, Italy. The abduction, orchestrated by Martin Axe, a cunning and relentless antagonist whose motives surpass mere ransom, leads to a tense interrogation. Martin Axe relentlessly presses for details about the operation in Mombasa, while Ray, maintaining a stoic exterior, evades his questions. This standoff reveals a chilling dynamic, the cold efficiency of a military man pitted against an adversary driven by complex, ulterior motives. As the hostage-takers consolidate their control, the situation spirals, leaving Ray emotionally charged and determined. In a whispered vow to avenge the tragic murder of his wife, he sets the stage for a personal crusade. The kidnapping shatters any semblance of normalcy and ignites a spark of rebellion within Ray, signaling a forthcoming battle against forces intent on exploiting the lives of soldiers. Following the harrowing events of the kidnapping, the story takes a surreal turn as Ray's journey leads him into a mysterious realm of advanced science and rebirth. In a dimly lit room filled with intricate cables and monitors, Ray awakens to find himself bound by mysterious apparatus that seem to tug at the very fabric of his being. Disoriented yet determined, he struggles against these restraints, his mind slowly coming to grips with the disconcerting reality of his transformation. At this pivotal moment, a compassionate yet enigmatic figure named KT enters the scene, offering words of reassurance that hint at a glimmer of hope amid the chaos. Soon after, the charismatic Dr. Harding makes his dramatic entrance. With an air of clinical detachment and personal conviction, Dr. Harding reveals that Ray's body, once thought to be lifeless, has been revived through groundbreaking rising spirit technology. He explains that the U.S. military has generously donated Ray's body for this experimental program, a program that promises to not only restore life, but also to enhance human capabilities far beyond their natural limits. Dr. Harding, who recounts his own trials with illness and physical loss, uses his personal narrative to connect with Ray, emphasizing that this second chance is as much about forging a new identity as it is about survival. Every detail of the transformation is described with a mix of scientific precision and emotional depth, setting the stage for Ray's metamorphosis into something far more powerful than a mere soldier. As the procedures and technologies blend seamlessly into the fabric of his renewed existence, Ray finds himself caught between the remnants of his past and the uncharted potential of his future. The stark white walls around him symbolize both confinement and a new beginning, urging him to embrace the transformation underway. As Ray begins to navigate his new reality, startling revelations about his abilities come to the fore. In an astonishing display of raw power, he unleashes an unanticipated strength that allows him to shatter barriers with a single punch. The force of his blows is so immense that even the sturdiest structures succumb, leaving shattered pillars and fractured equipment in his wake. This newfound might is not merely physical. It represents the emergence of a deeper, almost supernatural energy that courses through his veins. Amid this tumult, a supportive figure named KT emerges, lending both comfort and guidance as Ray grapples with his evolving identity. With each explosive burst of power, he inches closer to understanding the extent of the biomechanical enhancements that have transformed him. The scene is further electrified by the arrival of a character named Drive Harding, who introduces himself as the architect behind this radical transformation. Dr. Harding, with his calm yet authoritative demeanor, details the marvels of advanced medical technology that not only mend physical wounds in mere moments, but also reforge damaged tissue into an unbreakable force. As Ray experiments with his abilities, lifting massive dumbbells and defying conventional limits, he begins to see that his body is capable of feats that defy logic, hinting at a future where he might even surpass the boundaries of mortality itself. Every punch and every act of strength not only astonishes those around him, but also sparks an internal reckoning. Ray begins to question the true nature of power and what it means to be reborn into a life where his capabilities far exceed human limits. The intensity of these early battles foreshadows a transformation that will redefine his destiny. Witnessing his power, onlookers are left speechless, as the dawning of an extraordinary era in heroism unfolds right now. As the narrative progresses, Ray is thrust into a labyrinth of manipulated memories and orchestrated conflicts that blur the line between truth and illusion. Under the watchful eyes of advanced surveillance systems, his consciousness is repeatedly bombarded with false recollections. In a series of clinical sessions, Dr. Harding reprograms Ray's mind, inserting fabricated memories that aim to bury the trauma of his wife's murder and mold him into a tool for military agendas. Despite these imposed recollections, fragments of his true past persist, igniting a fierce inner turmoil. In one such intense moment, a surge of flashbacks overwhelms Ray after a seemingly innocuous drink, triggering a violent reaction where he frantically strikes a table and abandons his equipment. This act of defiance marks the beginning of his struggle against the psychological chains that bind him. Meanwhile, a covert operation unfolds as his adversaries, including the enigmatic Wiggins and hardened combatants like Jimmy and Marcus, maneuver to track his every move. The chaos escalates when Ray's enhanced abilities allow him to absorb his own spilled blood, a regenerative process that renders him nearly invulnerable to physical harm. Amid the swirling chaos of gunfire and explosive encounters, Ray's internal battle intensifies as he confronts not only external foes, but also the engineered narratives implanted within his mind. His journey becomes a desperate quest for truth and self-identity, in a world where every memory might be a lie, and every friend could be a potential enemy. The manipulation of Ray's memories is as brutal as it is intricate, with every imposed falsehood deepening the conflict within him. Determined to reclaim his true identity, he battles both physical foes and the shadows of his past. In this struggle, every memory becomes a battleground, fueling his resolve to tear down the barriers erected by deceit. In the film's breathtaking climax, Ray's journey of rediscovery and rebellion reaches its zenith. Charging forward with an unwavering fury, he confronts his adversaries in a sprawling showdown that spans multiple urban battlegrounds. Gunfire, explosions, and visceral hand-to-hand combat combine to create a maelstrom of chaos where loyalty and treachery intermingle. In a dramatic turn of events, Ray locates the mastermind behind his manipulated past, confronting Dr. Harding in a tense final duel. Accusations fly as Ray denounces the cruel experiments that stripped him of his memories and personal freedom. As the battle rages on, Ray's enhanced body absorbs the impact of every assault, his regenerative powers defying even the deadliest blows. With each passing moment, he dismantles the engineered narratives and reclaims fragments of his true self. In a final act of defiance, Ray hurls a seizing bomb onto the ground, unleashing a colossal explosion that obliterates his oppressors and paves the way for his liberation. Amid the smoke and ruin, a battered yet resolute Ray confronts the aftermath, questioning the price of his transformation and the sacrifices that have defined his path. As the chaos subsides, a glimmer of hope emerges, signaling a new chapter in his tumultuous journey, a journey that is as much about reclaiming his identity as it is about redefining what it means to be a hero. In the silence that follows the devastation, Ray stands amidst the wreckage, his eyes reflecting a mix of sorrow, determination, and the promise of a renewed purpose. Undaunted, in the aftermath of relentless battles and manipulated memories, Ray emerges as a symbol of resilience and transformation. His journey, marked by loss, vengeance, and an extraordinary rebirth, challenges the very nature of heroism. As he steps forward into an uncertain future, the scars of his past serve as a reminder of the sacrifices made and the battles yet to come.